For how long will you keep forcing what should flow? For how long will you mistake exhaustion for virtue, and frantic movement for genuine progress? Look at your life right now. You are tired, not because the mountain is too high, but because you are trying to smash through it instead of climbing with rhythm. You feel stuck, constantly straining, pushing, and grinding, only to see the results slip further from your grasp. This is the first delusion that Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai, warned against. The delusion that sheer brute force can solve every problem, a belief he exposed as naive and dangerous on the battlefield. You've tried the loud, aggressive approach to self-development. You believe you must suffer, sacrifice, and burn yourself out to achieve anything worthwhile. This channel is not for those who seek comfortable excuses. It is a space for radical self-assessment. It is time to face the harsh, simple truth of your inadequacy. The harder you try, the worse it gets. Our modern world is trapped within the cult of the grind, worshipping a false god of relentless effort and constant motion. We equate the sweat and the strain with the worth of the result, believing that genuine success can only be achieved through relentless, strained effort. This is why so many of you are exhausted but empty, busy all day, yet unproductive in the moments that matter. Musashi's teaching provides the brutal counter-lesson. Trying too hard is weakness. It clutters the mind, dulls your intuition, and poisons the efficiency of your actions, making you slow, tense, and utterly predictable to your opponent, or your challenge. When you force the issue, your focus narrows, your breath constricts, and your technique becomes stiff. You stop being a strategist and start acting like a frightened child throwing a tantrum. He wrote plainly that speed is not part of the true way of strategy. Speed is merely a symptom, not the cause of victory. What truly matters is rhythm and timing. When you are trying hard, you are fighting the rhythm of the situation, imposing your frantic will onto the natural flow of things. This friction drains your energy and blinds you to the small, crucial details. Think back. When was the last time your best effort felt clumsy, strained, and resulted in less than a moment where you acted with easy, effortless flow? Did you miss the shot because you were desperate to hit it? Did the conversation derail because you were obsessively trying to control the outcome? Stop lying to yourself and admit it. The strained muscle is often the first to fail. You are not busy. You are undisciplined in your effort. True discipline is not in the volume of action, but in the precision of it. This excessive effort, this manic pursuit, is nothing more than mental noise. It is the sound of your internal resistance fighting against the reality you face. It is fear dressed up as dedication. Musashi's strategy demands quiet, internal stillness. If you cannot stop forcing your actions, you will never master the flow of the next principle. Do you understand the trap you've built for yourself? If so, we can proceed to the only weapon that can free you. The fool believes strength lies in tension. Look at your own body when you face pressure. Your jaw clenches, your shoulders rise, your breath catches. You become a rigid, predictable target. The true strength of a warrior, however, lies not in this debilitating tension, but in pliability. This is the core teaching of Musashi's Water Book, a principle that annihilates the brute force mindset. Your spirit must become like water. Water is the quiet destroyer. It does not break the rock by forcing itself against it, but by wearing it down through persistence and flow. Water adopts the shape of its container, adapting without resistance. It is both infinitely soft and utterly relentless. When you try too hard, you become a brittle clay jar. One hard blow shatters you. When you embody water, you become the ocean, vast, indifferent, and absorbing every shock. The strategic state you must master is relaxed readiness. It is a calm, focused vigilance where the body is relaxed, the muscles are loose, but the spirit is settled and unbiased. Your vision is broad, your breathing is deep, and your mind is poised. This is not apathy. It is the highest form of control. When you release the need to force the result, your focus does not dissipate, it sharpens. Your movements, thoughts, and words become spontaneous and precise, the very essence of flow. This state separates the amateur from the master. The amateur holds his sword with a rigid, dead hand, clutching the result so tightly that his entire body screams his intention. The master holds it with a pliable, living hand, allowing the action to flow naturally from his calm center. This is Musashi's profound wisdom. Do not let your spirit be influenced by your body, or your body be influenced by your spirit. They must move in harmony, a dual command center where emotion does not hijack the action. Maintain a spiritual bearing that is no different from your normal, calm self, even when the threat of death or failure is immediate. Reflective question. Are you holding your sword, your current challenge, your conversation, your goal, with a rigid, dead hand, or with a pliable, living hand? If you cannot find this state of pliable calm, your actions will always be wasted effort, and your struggle will be unnecessary. Only by shedding the tension can you approach the next, most terrifying level of mastery, the nothingness of pure potential. The water principle teaches you how to move. The void, or mu, teaches you how to be when you are not moving. You have found the pliable hand, the relaxed body, but now you must confront the greatest battlefield, the noise within your own skull. The greatest performance, in life, in business, in art, or in combat, is reached in a state of nothingness. This nothingness is not a spiritual retreat from reality. It is a boundless potential and receptivity. It is the space created when you clear away all mental and physical clutter, letting go of preconceived notions, expectations, and the suffocating pressure of unnecessary desires. It is the moment between the breath, between the thought, before the action. You are not empty, you are full of potential. The enemy of this void is overthinking. It is the classic analysis paralysis, where the mind is so burdened by thought, debating, second-guessing, clinging to outcomes that are not yet real, that action is either delayed or becomes irredeemably clumsy. You believe you are strategizing, but you are merely stuttering internally. This mental noise is the rigid tension of the mind, the opposite of the relaxed readiness we just discussed. To achieve truly effortless action, Wu Wei, your mind must be empty of these distracting thoughts. You must act decisively and with singular purpose. The warrior's mind, when fully prepared through disciplined practice, must be like a mirror. It reflects the situation perfectly without holding on to the reflection. It sees the opening and the sword moves. There is no gap for doubt, fear, or self-consciousness to enter. This is what Musashi meant when he stated his ultimate principle. When your spirit is not in the least clouded, when the clouds of bewilderment clear away, there is the true void. Reflective question. How much of your daily mental energy is truly productive, and how much is merely wasted debating, second-guessing, and clinging to outcomes that are not yet real? If you are honest, you will find you are defeating yourself long before the challenge even begins. The void is the brutal acceptance that thought is often the enemy of action. If you cannot silence the internal critic, you will never move with true efficiency. If you are to find clarity beyond effort, you must learn to strip away the useless. This leads us directly to the concept of total efficiency, a samurai's obsession. If you have achieved the void, your mind is clear. But clarity is useless without brutal efficiency. Look at your calendar, your to-do list, your daily habits. Most of it is noise. Most of your effort is a lie. Musashi's rigorous philosophy demands total efficiency. Do nothing which is of no use. This is not a suggestion. It is a spiritual command that strips away everything superfluous in your life and in your craft. You are performing the sin of unnecessary action every time you check a notification that adds no value, every time you debate a decision you already know, and every time you engage in busy work that is simply avoidance dressed up as effort. You fear the stark, hard reality of the single most important task, so you distract yourself with empty movement that produces nothing but exhaustion and the illusion of progress. This is weakness. This is self-betrayal. On the battlefield, every single wasted step is a chance for your enemy to cut you down. In your life, every single wasted moment is a betrayal of your ultimate purpose. It consumes the finite energy you need for the one cut, the action that truly moves the needle. You must recognize that the majority of your daily struggle is self-inflicted. It is the clutter you refuse to discard. The right effort is about being present, mindful, and fully engaged in the task at hand. It is about precision, not volume. It must be serving a clear, singular objective. You must become ruthless in identifying and eliminating the 5 or 10 things you do every day that are simply comfort-seeking mechanisms disguised as diligence. Stop moving fast. Start moving right. Reflective question. What 5 things are you doing today that, if removed entirely, would not impact your long-term goals at all? Be honest. Most of your busy work is on that list. Musashi's command, when applied to your own weaknesses, is clear. The essence of strategy is to fall upon the enemy in large numbers and bring about his speedy downfall. Your enemy is not the world. Your enemy is your own weakness for distraction and useless action. You must attack these habits mercilessly until they are gone. You must be determined, but this determination must not become the next obsession. You have learned to discard the useless and to move with the pliability of water. Now you face the ultimate paradox of the warrior's path. How to commit everything without clinging to the result. True mastery is found in the narrow, demanding passage of the middle path, a perfect balance between fierce determination and absolute letting go. This is determination without obsession. This principle is rooted in non-attachment, a Zen concept seamlessly woven into Musashi's way. It means giving your absolute best effort, your one cut, without being consumed by the desperate desire for success or the paralyzing fear of failure. This spiritual distance frees you from the emotional stress of the outcome, allowing the energy you previously wasted on anxiety to fuel your action. You must be resolute in your action, firmly intending to cut the enemy or achieve the goal, but flexible in your grip and approach. The sword must be an extension of your mind, a tool for your purpose, not the other way around. If you are obsessed with the result, you are acting on anxiety. If you are merely resolute, you are acting on clarity. You mistake your grasping desire for ambition, and this grasping is the tension that makes you fail. The revelation is brutal in its simplicity. The harder you try to control the result, the more resistance you create. The paradox is that by not being fixated on the result, your actions become cleaner, your vision becomes clearer, and your effort becomes more purposeful, thus making the desired outcome not only possible but inevitable. This journey is an internal one, a process of absorbing the strategy into your very being. Reflective question. When you obsess over an outcome, are you acting on clarity, or are you acting on anxiety? Be honest with the answer before you attempt to move forward. Musashi delivered the ultimate challenge that transcends mere reading or memorization. If you merely read this book, you will not reach the way of strategy. Absorb the things written in this book. Do not just read, memorize, or imitate, but so that you realize the principle from within your own heart. Study hard to absorb these things into your body. The principles must become instinct, transforming struggle into nature. This transformation begins with a single, conscious choice. You have walked the path from brute effort to pliable action, from mental noise to the stillness of the void. Now, the final discipline. The true victory that Musashi spoke of is always the victory over oneself. It is the culmination of years of preparation and mental clarity, expressed in the spirit of one cut. Winning with certainty and a resolute spirit, without the desperate need to overexert. The one-cut mind is effortless precisely because the effort was already spent. In the practice, in the preparation, in the deep work of self-mastery. You do not need 20 clumsy swings. You need one decisive, flowing action. This practice is the bridge that connects your philosophy to your reality, transforming abstract concepts into immediate, tangible control. This is the daily practice of non-attachment, your essential ritual to conquer the strain of trying too hard. You must integrate the anchor breath, define the cut, and commit fully without clinging to the result. The anchor breath is your instant return to the water principle. Before starting any challenging task, a difficult email, a critical conversation, a focused work block, you must take a single, deep, conscious breath. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. This single cycle is not a distraction. It is a strategic weapon. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, creating an instant of calm, relaxed readiness. Do this until the tension is gone. Then, you must define the cut. In one clear sentence, define the single, most important, highest value action of the next hour. Write it down. This clarity eliminates the sin of unnecessary action. It is your single point of focus, and nothing else exists in that moment. Finally, you must commit without clinging. Perform that single action with total, undivided focus, leveraging the void mind. But, internally, you must release all attachment to the perfection or outcome of that cut. Do the work, and let the universe handle the rest. If you feel the strain or the overthinking creeping back in, stop immediately. Take another anchor breath. Find the pliability in your mind and body, and resume with ease. This is the meaning of the samurai's challenge. Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. This is the only enemy that truly matters. You have the principles. You have the practice. Now, act. Miyamoto, Rotero gem personalizado. Comprendido. Prosiguiendo com o tópico 6. O ponto culminante do Rotero. Que integra todos os principios uma prática final. O Rotero se encerrará com os camados a KO. 6. Practice. The one-cut mind. You have walked the path from brute effort to pliable action, from mental noise to the stillness of the void. Now, the final discipline. The true victory that Musashi spoke of is always the victory over oneself. It is the culmination of years of preparation and mental clarity, expressed in the spirit of one cut. Winning with certainty and a resolute spirit, without the desperate need to overexert. The one-cut mind is effortless precisely because the effort was already spent. In the practice, in the preparation, in the deep work of self-mastery. You do not need 20 clumsy swings. You need one decisive, flowing action. This practice is the bridge that connects your philosophy to your reality, transforming abstract concepts into immediate, tangible control. This is the daily practice of non-attachment, your essential ritual to conquer the strain of trying too hard. You must integrate the anchor breath, define the cut, and commit fully without clinging to the result. The anchor breath is your instant return to the water principle. Before starting any challenging task, a difficult email, a critical conversation, a focused work block, you must take a single, deep, conscious breath. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 2, exhale for 6. This single cycle is not a distraction. It is a strategic weapon. It activates your parasympathetic nervous system, creating an instant of calm, relaxed readiness. Do this until the tension is gone. Then, you must define the cut. In one clear sentence, define the single, most important, highest value action of the next hour. Write it down. This clarity eliminates the sin of unnecessary action. It is your single point of focus, and nothing else exists in that moment. Finally, you must commit without clinging. Perform that single action with total, undivided focus, leveraging the void mind. But, internally, you must release all attachment to the perfection or outcome of that cut. Do the work, and let the universe handle the rest. If you feel the strain or the overthinking creeping back in, stop immediately. Take another anchor breath. Find the pliability in your mind and body, and resume with ease. This is the meaning of the samurai's challenge. Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. This is the only enemy that truly matters. You have the principles. You have the practice. Now act. If you are ready to stop being defeated by your own effort and start winning through mastery and flow, then this channel is your forge. Do not merely read these words. Absorb them, transform them into action. If this message resonated with the deepest weakness you hide, the sin of trying too hard, then like this video. If you are committing to the daily practice of the one-cut mind, tell us what the cut is in the comments below. And if you are ready to be unrecognizable through extreme discipline, subscribe to the channel. The transformation is waiting, but you must choose to take the first effortless step.